Hi everybody, this is Bonnie and I'm back with my final card for the 4 cards that I shared for the horse and sleigh. And this is an online exclusive only bundle that you can get if you go to my website. That is bonniescreativeplace.stampinup.net. I will make sure I have it posted on here, and there's also a link in the description box below. We are going to make this fun octagon card, and it folds. It will not fit in a true standard size envelope. We either have to deliver this or you have to put it in a little bit bigger size envelope. But yeah, or if you want to keep it permanent so it doesn't pop up a little bit, the more I've opened and closed mine, the more this wants to, the more it stays flat, the more it wants to pop up more. If you wanted to keep this so that it always stood up, I would add a couple little glue dots right there. I mean, it'll always stay up. I don't want you to think that it won't stay up, because it will. It'll stay up like this. But if you want it to stay up permanent and not have that little thingy on there, or that way it pops open like that, you can definitely add a couple little glue dots, or take a piece of ribbon and just snug it, or twine and put around it. It's something you could take off. Like when I make a card like this, I've made several different designs of types cards. I will display this every Christmas with my other cards. And this one, actually, I think I'm going to put, my husband has a Christmas village, and he absolutely adores it, and we have it in this whole china closet, and it stays out year round. And I think this one is going to find a home in there. So that's where this card is going to end up going, and it's going to stay there year round. So let's get started. If you liked these videos or have enjoyed any of my videos, I know sometimes I get a little stumbly and everything, but if you could give me a like, comment, share, I would really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It makes me know that what I'm doing, somebody appreciates it and is enjoying my content out there. So let's get started. It's not a complicated card, but it's one that I definitely make a template for. So when I do it, I make flat templates like this. And then I make an actual, like prototype 3D, so I can, if I have to look it over, I'm looking this over. And then I will have 2 of these, because I'm going to be making one right now. And so this one will actually stay with this card, so I have a sample. So that's how I do it for me, my own personal preference, but however you do it works for you. But for this template, this is my little reading template that I'll definitely be referring to a lot when I'm making this card. You're going to need 2 pieces of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to set this off to the side, and we're going to bring out the cutting tool here. And you are going to score at a 1/2 inch. So you could score it right here at a 1/2 inch. Now I'm left-handed. You score how it's easy for you, but you're going to score at a 1/2 inch. And then for me, I rotate it after that. And then I score at 2. And then you're going to score at 3 1/2. And then you're going to score at 5. Okay, and then you need 2 of these, and I've already gone ahead and done this one. Why we got the score out right now, you're going to need 2 of these that are 6 1/2 by 1 3/4. So you're going to score first at 1 3/4. Oh no, it wasn't 1 3/4. It was 1 7/8. And yes, okay. So let's see. It's got to be an 1/8. I might be able to make this work. It's just 2 tick marks over. So you're going to score at 1 7/8. I think I could still make this one work. 4 1/8. and then 6. Okay, so there we go. So that's all the scoring for a minute. So now we're going to bring this out, and you're going to need a ruler of some sort. And you're going to, let me read what this says. We're going to go in 1 inch on all 4 sides. So get a ruler and a pencil. And let me zoom in a little and see if this will help you a little bit. I don't know how well this will, but we'll see. So put your 1 inch mark on your ruler right out, and you're doing it on the score line. So from this score line, you're going to go 1 inch over, right on the score line, and you're going to make a little tick mark right there. Then you're going to come over here, put this right on the score line, and make a little tick mark. And then we're going to go down here and put it on the tick mark, or on the score line. And then on this side. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing to this one. Okay, so now we have them. Now you're going to take and you're going to go from the second score line that we have on here, right here, because this is the first one and this is the second one. We are going to line up the point. You're going to line up on that point and the point of this. So you're going to cross them. You're going to just go right over top of them, just like that, all the way to the end. And oh, I broke my lead. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to do the same thing on this side. You can pre-score these if it helps. But sometimes it's hard with the white, so it takes me a second here. Okay, okay, and that pencil is broken. It looks like I need to add more lead to it. Okay, so like that, and then I'm going to turn this around so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and now we'll do the other one. And do the same thing. You don't have to draw these lines if you want to use your cutter and just go, oops, I'm off a little bit on this one. I didn't get it right in the corner. Okay, and then we'll do this one. Okay. Okay, well, that one's off. Kind of both of these are. I didn't do a very good job on this one at all. I'm trying to find where my score mark. Oh, there it is. That's why. The white is hard to see. Maybe you might want to score it. I mean, I don't have my head right in it, so because I'm trying to keep my head out of the view of the camera so you guys can see it. And sorry if that was off camera, but this is what you basically want to do. Now you could put these together, which is how I did it, and you can go in your trimmer and you can cut from there to there, but actually I just find a pair of scissors works just as good, and keep them together and then just cut them up like this, and you could fix them every time if you have to. And I like to do it together because then you know whatever the one is, the other one is the same. And then we'll look at them and see if we have any pencil marks, which I probably do on that bottom one. Okay, and I do, so I am definitely going to erase these. Now I went a little heavy so that you guys could see them, but they are coming off pretty well. So, I mean, actually, you could just score one. I mean, if you're going to put one on top of the other. I just wanted to show you that you can do it that way, too. So, whatever works for you guys. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you are going to take this, because you would have, you're going to mark one as your top and one as your bottom or back. Okay, so when you fold this like this, and like this, and then you're going to fold this one like this, when we put them together, they're going to be like this. So I want you to put up here on this one somewhere a B, very lightly, because you want to be able to erase it. And then this one, an F for front. This is going to be your front, and that's going to be your back. Okay, so now what you got to do is you got to get a little cutting mat out, and you're going to need a little cutter here. This, I don't know, I've had this for a while. You can get it from the dollar store. I don't know, what are they called? Those little X-Acto knife things? Yeah, and then we'll get it out here. And you need to eyeball the center of, like, I come up to about here. What we're making is this part where the little bunny is, okay? And I want to make sure this is in the camera still. So just kind of give yourself a little, if I put this on a straight line on the grid paper, I guess I'm estimating about 3/4 of an inch down from that score line. And I am just going to go right here where this front is, and I'm going to make about a 1/2 inch score line across there. So it's just the eyeball center. Then we're going to do the same thing with the back. We're going to put this on here. I'm kind of eyeballing the center. I think I want it up a little bit farther. All depends on how far back and how far up you want it. Okay. So we have that. Now we're going to cut. And you can either use your ruler to help guide you, or you can go like this. Go over it a couple times just to make sure you have it. Kind of check it, and I do. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Okay, and then check it and make sure I have it, and I do. Alright, now at this point I'm going to erase my letters, because if you put this on wrong, you'll know. So I erased my letters. So what we got to do now is I score these. I just finger score these because I think it gets enough up and down after you get putting it together that you don't really need to keep scoring them. So now we need some, I guess I could call them little mechanism strips. Little strips is what I call them, little tabs. So for these two, you need 2 of these that are 2.5 inches long, and then you're going to score it at 1/2 inch right on the end. So you need 2 of these ones. And then you need one that is 3.5 inches long. There's no scoring. And then one that is by 1/2 inch. And then you need one that's 1.5 inches long by 1/2 inch. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take some liquid glue. Oh, here it is. And we're going to take this piece, and you can, I mean, this is 3.5. If you want, it's, I don't know, I'm eyeballing center. I don't know what it would be. And I'm putting a little bit of glue, and then I'm going to put this right here. Just like this. Okay. Now we're going to take this one, and we're going to insert it into this hole. It's 1/2 inch. So if I didn't, okay, I need to make my holes a little longer than 1/2 inch. So just, you know, think about, I guess I didn't think about that. Make it bigger than 1/2 inch. I said to do it at 1/2 inch. You want to do it bigger than 1/2 inch. Put this in there. And I'll show you the direction of this in a minute. I want to make sure I look at my own little, cheat sheet over here. Let me make sure I'm putting them in the right direction. Okay. So this is going to go, I'm just double checking my, I don't want to tell you guys wrong. Okay, I do have it in upside down. Okay, so when you put this in, make sure the flap is up like this. The little flap is up like that. So then you're going to put this in and have it pop out a little ways. And then the same thing with this one. Make sure the flap is in, like so. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of glue to the bottom of this. You could use whatever you want, but I'm using the glue. I am taking this and I'm going to attach this right here. Now my thing just came out of the hole because I didn't bring them up both together at the same time. All right. This is how you got to do it, but I'm trying to show you. And you got to hold it for a few seconds for it to dry. Maybe a glue dot might help in there or whatever. I'm going to hold this for a second just so you can see after it dries a little bit what it has to be like. Because you want to hold it down. You could use a clamp. You could use whatever you need. I'm going to put it up here sideways. So see how I did that? I made it come down. I sat it right here. So I did this. I put glue on the bottom of this little flappy thing, and then it comes up through and it sits on this thing just like that. So the score, this mark is out here. I'm hoping you're getting a good view. The cut line's here and the fold is back here. So that's what it looks like. And then we are going to do the same thing on this one. I don't know if this is going to pick it up, but I'm trying to keep it so that you can see it too, but I don't know. A lot of things are in the way. So basically, I just did the same thing. Like that. Oh, hold it down, let it dry. It takes a couple seconds, this glue does, but it's not as bad as... It's not that bad. Okay. So now we have a front and a back. Like that. This is the front and back. It doesn't matter. It was just for cutting purposes. When you cut it, when you put it on, you didn't want to put it on the bottom. I guess you should have marked top and bottom, I guess. So that way it didn't really need to be front and back. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to take this little T, and I want this part facing the back. So I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom half of this that's not going to be sticking up. And on the back piece, I am going to stick this right here, and I'm just going to hold it. Just like this. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these two together. I'm not putting any glue on that little tab that's sticking up. I'm only putting on the little mechanism, the little octagon-y thing. And I'm going to line these up. And this is why I like to use liquid glue, because I think it is better so you can have a little room, you know, little room putting stuff on and going around it. So we have this. So that's not too bad so far, is it? Nope, I don't think so. Well, now we got our other pieces that we made here, and we're gonna score these. And this one I'm going to fix right there. And we're going to score on all our score lines. And then this piece, this big long piece, one goes in the back and one big long piece goes in the front. And these little tabs will connect together. And that is what is going to hold this whole thing together. So we're going to put some glue on here. On this, and we're also going to, and I'm going to put this together like so. I find to do one side. You don't have to do, you could do, I think it's easier just to do one side. You'll see what I mean. So I'm just evening that up, putting it down. Now you see these little tabs here. We're going to put glue on the front one here first. We're going to bring this in, and it's the longer. You can definitely tell this is a longer score line than these two. And you're going to start with the bottom one, actually. And this gets a little tricky to hold everything, but you want to start with the bottom one, and you want to line it up with the bottom, like so, because this does sink down in a little bit. You're going to line this one up same way, just down a little bit. Okay, that seems much better. It just needs to go, it's not all the way up. And this one keeps moving on me, so I don't even know if I have it in the... There we go. I got this one down. I'm going to have to add some more glue to this one. I think it dried up before I had a chance to attach it. Maybe do one at a time. And now I've let this lay that it doesn't want to bring me glue. Give me glue, thank you. Now I got a little too much, so I'm going to wipe a little bit of that off. So I don't want that oozing out everywhere. Okay. And then we're going to line this one up, and it's just down in. It's like a hair. I don't even know how to explain it. It's almost to the top, but it's not quite to the top of it. Okay, there we go. Now just hold it here. And that glue dries quick. There we go, that's good. All right, we're going to do it on this side. We're going to do the bottom first, and then we'll do the top. Okay. It might have been easier to do one before we put the sides together. I might have done that. I didn't write the details on my thing to do, you know, put the sides on. It probably would have been. You wouldn't have been fighting all the other opponents. So before you glue them together on the sides, like where I glued it together here, I think I would put this on I think that would definitely make it a lot easier to do. Uh-oh. I have a little thing that fell out. You want to make sure they're all in there. This one's kind of keeping away on me. Let's get my tweezers here and grab this one. Pull it up. There we go. Let's put this one back in. This happens. This happened with me with my... So you just got to pull them back up, put them back in. And then you're going to put this one on. Once you get it held in, then you can kind of put your finger in there a little bit. You can fold this back if you have to out of the way. Maybe. Sorry if I keep... I just want you to see. It's not that it's hard. It's just... I just want you to see what happens when you're working on it. How I'm working on it. Alright? And now we're going to glue this one together right here. I think I did put these on, glue the sides on after. It probably was a little easier to maneuver around, but to be honest with you, I've done it this way now, and I feel like it might be a little tighter, but that one has been closing and shutting, closing and shutting. So then you're... Well, you should wait before you play, Bonnie, until this is dry. So give this a little bit of time to dry here. Kind of rub your finger around it. But try to keep it straight too, because I did use liquid glue. Just give it a couple seconds. Trying to get a hold of the back side to kind of pinch it in there. There we go. So now you should be able to open and close it. Open and close it. And just give it a good fold. I don't know, something is making my bow here. I don't know, it could be where I have it caught at the bottom. Yeah, my bottom one is not lining up good. There we go. There we go. I guess I just have to enforce the score line a little bit more there. Okay. Just play around with your score lines. After you put all that glue on there, you got to make sure it does its thing here. There we go. And then you could push it back down. So this is how I made the octagon. And now we're going to embellish it. Okay. So let's get a few of these, this little mat out of my way and this little cutter here. Okay. All right, so now let's decorate it. So I've already gone ahead, and you need to have 2 of these squares. Now the strips for... Okay, those are the strips. I'm looking for the DSP paper. 2. Where's my 2? Okay, you need 2 Pebble Paths that are 1 3/4 by 2 1/8. And then you need one that is in the white that is 2 by 1 5/8, and then one in the DSP, which is 2 5/8. Or if you want to put DSP around the whole thing, then just do 2 of that. The reason I did white is I'm going to put this one on my back side, and before I would attach it, if I was going to give this to anybody, I would sign it and whatever for them, say Merry Christmas. So now I'm just going to use some of my Stampin' Seal Plus for this, and then just kind of lay it down a little bit and line it up just like so. And then we will go ahead and we'll do the front one too. And just like so. Okay. And now we need to have four of these that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and then you need 4 designer series paper that are 1 5/8 by 1 5/8, and we are going to put these around the other side of the card here. I guess you could have put these on beforehand too, but I didn't when I did mine the first time, so I didn't do it this time. It might be easier, but then it might be in your way too, and more weight for when you're trying to attach the other stuff down. And this designer series paper came out of the paper that you can get in this bundle too. You can make these a little smaller if you want. I just went with this size. I wanted it all the way up to the top. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to zoom you guys back out so that I make sure you don't miss anything out. Oops, wrong way. There we go. So now the next thing I did was I took my horse and sleigh and I attached it right here on to the front of this. And I just added glue to the bottom half, and that was it to attach it. Because this is only a 1/2 inch. And that's all the glue I got. And you can look at the back, take it, flip it over, see if any glue's oozing out anywhere. Because last thing you want is the card to stick. And if you feel it, like I said, use that paper, the technique I said with the powder. And if you don't have any of this, like I got a little glue there, and I don't like that little black mark. So another thing that you can do is take one of these little erasers and erase it off. But when you come into delicate stuff that's right down here, I worry about ripping it. So I don't like to go, oh, my horse is over a little bit far there, but I think that's going to be okay. I didn't have it back quite far enough, but that's all right. Okay. So now for the front piece here, I cut out a few snow banks and stuff, and you're not going to see when I put this down here. But I just took this little snowbank, and I'm just going to put a little glue right here, right there. And I am going to add this first. I took one of there's a die cut in the kit, and I took this one, and I cut these out in the Pebble Path paper. And for this one, I just went ahead and I kind of cut the branches down a little bit so that I could form some little trees. Oh, I already attached it. It's going to be I'm not going to be able to do it, but I stamped Joyful on this one, on my original one. I stamped Joyful right there. So if you want to do that, you would want to do it before you attach it here, and I totally forgot to do that. So I didn't get the Joyful stamped there. And so I am just going to add a little bit of glue to these. I just put it towards the bottom because I'm going to use the snowbank as my little thing to attach it. And then let's see, I didn't use this one, that end piece. The piece I chipped all away from it. Okay, and then I took and I put this one over here. Of course, Joyful was stamped there, but you can leave it off. Well, I'm leaving it off. So, oops. I guess I don't have enough glue, or I've got so much glue on my fingers right now. Oh, there we go. And then I took a little tiny rabbit. I punched out a rabbit here, and I'm going to put him right over that whole tab and everything so you don't see any part of that tab. And I kind of got to look at it to see where I got to add the glue, so you don't have a whole lot of glue where you don't want it to be. I got glue on this one thumb or something sticky on it, and it just will not leave. There we go. Are you guys, I hope I'm not getting that. I'm trying. I hope you guys saw that. But I just put it right there, the little rabbit. Sometimes that gets pushed. I was pushing it and it was getting away from me. Now to take our trees. And what I did was I just went ahead and I added a snowflake to the back of that, a snow mountain, which I forgot to cut it out, but I think I have an extra one right here. I do. I knew I cut out 2 extras, and I was wondering, why do I need 2? So I took another snow mountain, and I added this to the back on here. This gave me something to attach all my trees to that are in the back. So I just added a little bit right here in the center. And I'm going to push it on here and let it set for a minute. Okay. So it's kind of like that. And then I just went ahead and I decided where I wanted some trees. So I wanted one right here. And actually I trimmed this trunk down because I didn't want it to make it tip over. So I trimmed it down. And I just put some glue on the bottom halves of this, and I stuck this down like that. That was tree 1. And then I have this one, and I trimmed it off. I trimmed all of them off a little bit. And I put this one over here, and I stamped these all in the Pebble Path on Pebble Path paper. So it's tone on tone. Yeah, and then I did another one on the other side. Put that right here. I moved this one over on this side a little bit. Like so. And then I put this one, I don't remember, I did use some dimensionals. And I put it down the, I wanted this one to pop forward a little bit. So what I did was I took, where did I put the minis? Right here. I used some minis. And I'm going to add just a few, like along the trees here. Just to make it pop forward a little bit. Okay. And then you gotta and then I put this right on here. And just making sure nothing is sticking out or anything. And then the last little tree that I have here is another one of those cutouts, you know, the cutout ones. And I just stuck that down in there. I added just a little bit of glue to the back of it. Not a whole lot. Just, you know, enough to make it stick. It doesn't need a whole lot. It's a very, very thin little piece of paper. There we go. And then I just stuck that on there. And then you have your card. But one thing I did do, because I thought it really needed it, was I took some Winkostella and I brushed it. If I can get a little bit of this to come out, because me and Winkostella, we have a love-hate relationship. I tell everybody that. I'm trying to find my craft mat here amongst everything. I'm going to squeeze just a little bit. Down. Okay. I still get way too much. And I'm going to put this on my trees so it will glisten. And I'll tell you, it does. And then you just have to let it sit and dry. I got a little much on that one because, like I said, I can't control the, and I just added it to the trees. I just thought it was so pretty. And I just kind of brushed it wherever you want, on whatever you want. Give it a little snow. Okay, and that is how I made this. And of course, you could put a little greeting, you could stamp it there. And this will stay up over time. I think the more you keep opening and shutting it to make it stay flat, because this one's, my first one was like that too. And I just kind of, you could probably add another piece of like something back here to give it more stability if you wanted to. If you found that it was still flipping, like this one is kind of going a little farther than I liked. I might not have my snow quite far enough down to prevent it from doing stuff. But that is the gifs of how I put this together. Hi guys, I'm back. Just quick tip here. I did not like how my trees were flopping over and everything, so I went ahead and I just took another 1/2 inch strip. It's probably about 3 inches long, and I stuck it right down inside that same hole, and I put a glue dot on it on the other side, and now it is much better. It's not flopping. It doesn't affect the folding and everything, opening it up and sitting it up, and it actually sits up a lot better. And then the other thing I did was I decided to add, remember how I said you could add some jute twine around this? So I added jute twine around this one because this is going to be permanently like this, sitting in that little china closet that I told you. And so I like that it is more down inside here like that. Yeah, so that's what I did. And I think if you want to hand deliver these and make this a little tighter, I'm not sure. If you guys do something different, this is what I learned and how I did it, let me know. So thanks guys. Leave a comment below. Bye-bye.